Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin is the answer despite the FUD, and there is a lot of FUD going on right now with Ukraine, Canada, Fed, inflation, whole bunch of stuff. So I do have a lot of things to share and talk about why Bitcoin is the answer despite everything that we're seeing right now. So thanks for tuning in. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel, follow me on social media, and check out all the latest news, article, and guides at CryptosRUs.com. Welcome, 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 welcome for good measure. So you can see U.S. markets are getting worse by the minute here. Dow is close to negative 500. NASDAQ is close to down 200. Bitcoin is still under 38,000, around 37.5, although it rallied up a little bit from this morning, but still not doing that good. And if you look at the entire crypto market cap, well, Bitcoin dominance went up a little bit more today. Just not a good day. Not a good day overall. You can see a lot of weakness. The only strong altcoin today is Terra, which was actually in the green not too long ago, but slightly down. Everything else is not looking pretty good. I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty right now. So let me give you the latest. In fact, couple things, couple developments since this morning stream, where I kind of covered all the Russia, Ukraine, US FUD, and some of the sanctions and actions, especially from Germany. But there's more. There's more now. So, according to a lot of news media, Russia's parliament now grants Putin to use force abroad. So now it seems like Putin has gotten okay, as if the parliament would vote no. I mean, of course, whatever Putin wants, the parliament's going to give him. But now he's been officially given the right to use force abroad if he needs to. Okay, so that came out. And in fact, in about 10 minutes, President Biden is going to address the nation as he plans on slapping more sanctions on Russia, because basically, according to Biden, that the invasion already happened with those two small little separatist controlled areas, which now is deemed independent states by Russia. So Biden is going to address the nation in about 10 minutes about this. So we'll have to see what he says, what else he's going to do. And in terms of NATO's Security Council is going to hold an emergency meeting based on this. And the goal is to prevent any major conflict, right? At all costs. Basically, bottom line is people are still scared. Countries and leaders are trying to figure out how to prevent this from happening. But, like I said this morning, it seems like there's very little that Putin could do right now. He has two options. Basically, back off or invade. There's no in between. You can't just think that's going to disappear. So it's one of the two things, right? And neither one is not good. So it's kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. And unfortunately, during this, there's going to be an economic uncertainty. There's going to be this cloud of FUD that will be hanging above us, and that's what's happening right now. So we have to get through it. We just have to wait and get through it. I guess we'll see what President Biden says in a couple minutes here. All right, now, besides that, right, we had some other things come out today outside of war news. U.S. consumer confidence came out measuring how retailers are doing and how they view the job force. Came out mixed. So in February, businesses that were deemed, or this is according to a poll, businesses that were deemed good is down from last month from 20% to 17%. So down a couple of percentage points. However, businesses that were considered bad also dropped from 27.4% to 24.7%. So the number of good businesses went down. Number of bad businesses went down more. So we're kind of like in the middle So that's what it's saying. It's mixed. And if you're looking at labor market, it's kind of the same thing. 53.8% said that there was plenty of jobs. And then but 12% also said it's hard to get. So again, it's kind of like in between good and bad case scenario. So we don't know. We don't know. It's not really painting a clear picture, right? But there are many talks about how the Fed has to be very hawkish come March in terms of raising the rates, right? Maybe 50 basis points and increasing the number of times the rates gets increased, maybe up to 9 now, right? So there's just a lot of things. This is again, everyone's guessing right now. Everyone's guessing, but you know what's not a guess is the rising prices of homes and of rent. So there's a lot of rent out there it's being increased by leaps and bounds. In fact, according to this, from 2020 at December to 2021 December, 1 year, the median rent rose up almost 20%. And considering that people's salaries didn't go up by 20%, well, it's causing hardship for many, many Americans across the country. So, again, this is all data that the Fed has to weigh in and then they have to determine what to do with the rates, because the rates affect a whole lot of people, especially real estate, because mortgage rates is affected directly by the Fed fund rate, which is normally 1% higher, and that has started to come up already. So pretty soon it's going to get harder to buy a home or buy investment property or buy a multi-unit, right? And how is that going to affect the real estate market, which is already very inflated due to inflation and labor constraints and cost of goods, right? Cost of supplies, I should say. So, I mean, this is all stuff that the Fed has to figure out. And this is, again, cloud of uncertainty right now that people are trying to figure out. So there's that, right? But despite all that, we have good news. Oh, by the way, we do have Canada FUD too, but I will put that into the good news. So, yeah, there's a lot of uncertainty out there, right? A lot of uncertainty. But Bitcoin is the answer. I've been saying that, despite the fact things have been very gloomy as of late. But Bitcoin is the answer, and here's why. Well, according to holders, holders continue to hold. In fact, the number of people that's holding above 6 months is at an all-time high, has not wavered at all. Not one bit, okay? First of all, holders continue to believe and continue to hodl. And even Deutsche Bank analyzed and polled their customers. And even if the entire crypto market cap was to drop by 80% and we go in full-blown winter, less than half the people voted said that they would actually reduce their investments. In fact, most of them will continue to hold and increase. This is extremely bullish for Bitcoin, right? Despite volatility, despite current FUD that we're facing right now, there are so many out there that continue to believe and hold Bitcoin because they know it's the future. It is the one asset that can't inflate, that can't be adjusted due to monetary policy, can't be controlled by any sovereign state, can't be stopped by any middleman service, right? And the fundamentals keep growing and the metrics keep showing that Bitcoin is on its way up. Long term, up. Short term, maybe some volatility, but everything is pointing to Bitcoin at this point. And this is why so many continue to hold it, right? And I mentioned about fundamentals getting bigger and stronger. Well, even a lot of exchanges, stock exchanges, are now integrating, not only coming out with crypto trading, but also other assets like the New York Stock Exchange trying to come out with the NFT platform, right? This is part of the growing fundamentals. The more people that have access to it, able to get in the easier it is for people to invest in an asset like Bitcoin, the better it is overall. And we're seeing that increase every single year now. And let's not forget all the banks that we despise, all the banks that, or financial institutions that Bitcoin is trying to kill, right? They've all jumped in on a bandwagon because they have no choice. If they don't get in, they're going to become the dinosaurs of tomorrow. So literally everyone that was very, very, very against Bitcoin has no choice but to adopt. Can they still cause FUD? Yes. Can they still try to manipulate the market? Yes, right? But ultimately, what's happening is Bitcoin is too big to ignore. You can no longer say it's a Ponzi, it's a scam, it's not going to go anywhere, it's going to get shut down. No, you can't say any of those things. You have to embrace or you're going to become ancient. That's the reality of the situation, right? Part of the growing fundamentals. Also, mention about Canada FUD, right? This is not surprising, but the number of Canadians that were drawing their money from their banks is astonishing. Can there be a bank run in Canada? I don't think we're at that point yet, but this is not surprising due to some of the imposed acts that may be coming to certain citizens of Canada, right? And according to this, detainees will become members of a misconduct file where they will be banned from accessing certain types of employment, plus will be named as terrorists. That is going to extreme. So if you are considered someone that they tag as a supporter of the movement, of the truckers movement, you could be named as a terrorist, and it could affect your job in the future. That's how serious it has become, right? So again, this is not a good situation. I don't know when this is going to end, but this is showing a clear need for Bitcoin and a decentralized network like Bitcoin, right? So yeah, this is where the situation is not getting any better. But again, this is a positive thing for Bitcoin, showing the need for it. So there's that. All right, last few things that are considered somewhat positive in this landscape of FUD. Tourism in El Salvador is up 30% since Bitcoin's adoption. In fact, their GDP grew by 10% in 2021. So that's overall positive. I know President Bukele been catching a lot of heat because of the decision to make Bitcoin legal tender, but so many other countries are considering it and moving in the same direction. And so many are turning to Bitcoin because of what's going on in Canada. So yeah, this is very positive. The kind of the leader in this space right now. So that's very positive. What else is there? Snoop Dogg, his latest collection raises more than 125 million. So shows that the NFT market is still very, very strong. He's going to move his record label into an NFT label. And man, collecting more than 125 million in this condition right now is extremely positive. Imagine if we were at 69,000, 70,000 Bitcoin, you could probably raised $1 billion from this. So pretty good overall. And FTX plans on launching a blockchain-powered gaming unit. So again, all the major players, specifically the exchanges, they are still moving forward. They want to grow the ecosystem, and what better time to do so than now while things are weak, right? You want to take advantage when things are down, so when things come back up, you'll be rewarded, just like DCAing and buy the dips. That's how it works. All right, that's pretty much it. I mean, I think a lot of people are probably tuning into this press conference here. Well, it looks like it hasn't started yet, but it probably will be starting soon. But that's the latest news. I mean, there's a lot of FUD, but Bitcoin solves the problem with inflation, mistrust of central banks that don't know how to manage, right? Solves that problem, solves the problem with Canada, and targeting people and making them into terrorists now. It solves the problem with economic uncertainty. What's going to happen to Ukraine if they do get invaded, right? What if the banks shut down? What if Russia faces sanctions and gets SWIFT cut off, right? Are they going to turn to Bitcoin? Yes, probably, right? So maybe not the best endorsement out there for Bitcoin, but still, it does show Bitcoin is neutral. There is no sides to Bitcoin. It is neutral. It's a piece of technology and an asset that anyone could take advantage of. So there's that. Bitcoin is the answer. You just have to be patient and look at the bigger picture and realize that, yeah, short-term volatility is natural. It will always be. But as Bitcoin becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and maybe one day becoming the reserve currency of the world, it is still early. And that's why you want to be in it while things are still early. All right, guys, that's pretty much it. Let's do some Q&A. I forgot to get water, so I can't drink water. All right. Nick, anyone still have cash on the side? Question mark. Yes, having cash on the side is more important than ever. Okay? One of the biggest regrets that people have, one of the biggest regret I had, was not having enough cash on the side to be able to take advantage of the dips. If you can't, it sucks. But you could continue to hodl, which is fine. It's a good strategy. But if you're able to accumulate some cash on the side and you're able to continue to DCA over long haul with that cash or be able to buy the dips, that's even better, right? So, let's see here. The Fed meeting last month, you said would be the day the Fed sets the stage for a whole year. Nothing happened. Well, last month, many, including myself, thought that they would say more, but they didn't. This month, for sure, they will. There can't be nothing from this meeting. It's for sure going to set the stage for this year. Okay? So you can't hide behind the fact that, okay, maybe they just say nothing. No, they will say something. And by them saying something is a good thing. Right now, the reason why we're in where we are is no clarity, no direction. No one knows what's going on. There's just a lot of guessing. So whatever the Fed comes out with in March will be very positive because you want that clarity. You want that direction. Then the market can adjust and decide what to do, right? But right now, we're just not getting a whole lot of that. What about BlockFi, locking up interest? They're shutting down interest accounts, but they're not locking you out or anything. I've talked about this. They're working on their next project, which is going to be SEC endorsed. But right now, they're closing their interest accounts for new members. But for existing members, you will continue to have your access to your accounts and earn interest. Okay, whatever Alkin Vegan says. Let's see here. XRP Army going down like the 300 all the time. All right, to be fair, yes, XRP is not doing very well right now, but to be fair, not a whole lot of crypto is doing very well right now. Cardano also got slaughtered over the last few days, but many others have been going down as well, right? But, you know, with that said, opportunities definitely are presenting themselves right now. Snoop Dogg is the biggest sellout ever. Come on, he's been around forever, so I think he paid his dues already. Biden live. Let's see. I don't know how I could play it. I think it's not gonna play. Yeah, I don't. He's not live yet. So I had to see. I don't know what he's going to say. I mean, honestly, he's going to just slap tougher sanctions, right? And I don't know what those sanctions will be right now. I mean, basically the U.S. forced Germany not to okay the new pipeline, right? I covered that this morning. So I don't know what else there is going to be, based on UK did sanctions on 5 banks and wealthy individuals. Is the U.S. going to do the same? I don't know. Luca is asking, is Harmony still goodbye? Yes, I am a very big fan of. I'm a very big fan of Harmony. Could you give us quick and dirty on Tron? Good, bad, or hold? I never liked Tron. I take that back. Once upon a time I did, but I don't trust Tron or Justin, so no. I think there's much better buys. Wait, what did I miss here? Do you think Solana can have another run? It's crashed more than 70% from all-time highs. Yes. When things get better, yes, it will. What cameras do I use? It's a Canon DSLR, DSL SL3. That's what I use. It's an older camera. I think I answered that already. Let's see what else there is. Good thing I'm still holding my bag of Virtue. Yeah, that project died when pretty much McAfee went away. So Adrian asked about Mana. I'm still a believer in Metaverse. I think that we're still in the very early stages. You got to give it time. So I think big things are coming. So yeah, I do think Mana is worth holding on to. Can you address the CoinGecko wallet situation? I don't know of any wallet situation. CoinGecko's wallet, they have like a portfolio thing. I don't know if they have an actual wallet. Never heard of it. Cosmos or Tezos. I like Cosmos more at this point. Let's see. Any thoughts about the future quarter for ETH? Okay, well, first of all, there's no quarters for crypto. It's not like stocks. There's no quarterly reports or earnings reports, right? I mean, in terms of ETH, obviously a little bit more weakness, but still the biggest L1 network protocol out there. It will do fine. Next up is Ethereum 2.0, right? Is that going to still come in June? As we come closer to the day, we'll know. It's been delayed by 6 months. It's been delayed by years, in fact. So we'll see what happens. But what's really helping it is still the vast NFT marketplace. Like 80 or 90% of all NFT volume is on OpenSea, and the majority of that is on Ethereum. And also the vast DeFi ecosystem, too. Do you ever get scared of USDT imploding? I've heard that since 2017. No, not at this point. You can't worry about that. It's like worrying about, well, are we going to be invaded by aliens tomorrow, right? It's like, sure, you can think about it, but it's not something that you could do anything about. Right now, we know that USDT has been audited by the New York Attorney General, and one other body, I forgot who, but they've come out with flying colors so far. But overall, I don't trust Bitfinex. I don't trust iFinex. I don't trust Leo token. And I don't really trust USDT. I prefer USDC a whole lot more. And I'm glad to see USDC is coming up pretty soon. It'll probably surpass USDT. Sullivan says, I thought you guys were in trouble with Biden. Look at us with Trudeau. I don't know what's going on. And I know it's a hard thing, right? I get emails from people saying not all truckers believe in what's going on with the blockade. In fact, most truckers don't. I think that they're causing harm, and I get all that. I get how, you have to do something about the blockades and how it's ruining some parts of Ottawa and businesses and people don't like it. I get that, right? But what they're doing now in terms of freezing accounts, right, labeling people as terrorists now, and preventing them from getting a certain type of job, right? I mean, that's going to extreme. This is extreme measures. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I really don't know what's going on. It's going to extreme 180. So yeah, it's not a good situation. But again, I guess turn into a good situation in light of this is the fact that it shows that we need an alternative. We need something like Bitcoin, blockchain, decentralization to prevent something like this from happening, right? So yeah. ICP, not a fan of ICP, and I don't think it's the next ETH. Justin says, Jesus Christ, the only conflict is Georgia and everyone else is there's no invade. See, here's the thing. There's so many people like you, Justin, that say, oh, okay, there's going to be no invasion, no invasion, no invasion. Until it happens, and then you guys all disappear, right? Here's the situation. Regardless if there's an invasion, an actual invasion of Ukraine or not, you can't ignore what's going on, all right? Geopolitical conflict is happening. NATO is addressing, Germany is addressing, US is addressing, UK is addressing. You can't just say, oh, this is all FUD and nothing's happening. No, it is. It is. The markets would not be crashing like it is if this was all just nonsense, right? So you can't sit in the dark and say, oh, this is all FUD and nothing is going to come from this and there's no invasion when there's clearly an effect going on. You can't sit idle and say, oh, all this is just due to TA. There's nothing to do with invasion. It has nothing to do with this. That doesn't make any sense, right? So for everyone that is still trying to cling on to this notion that, oh, there's no invasion, that's irrelevant at this point. That's irrelevant. I don't get why there's some people that still cling on to that. Nations are taking action, leaders are taking action, markets are reacting to it, traders are reacting to it. That's the bottom line, right? But what can we control? Regardless if all of this is fake or it's nonsense or there's no invasion or whatever, right? What can we control? Well, we can control what we hold, right? And we can control what we're going to do with our crypto. And for me, I'm staying put. I'm staying strong. I'm focusing on the future. I'm continuing to hold and continuing to DCA. I mean, ultimately, that's what it comes down to, right? So, yeah. Yeah, and there are a lot of good things. That's why I say Bitcoin is the answer despite the FUD. There's a lot of FUD, and whenever there's FUD, people panic, and people like to spread misinformation or spread that fear or spread whatever hate, right? You see it all the time now, especially on toxic Twitter, which I spend very little time on. You see it all over the place, right? This is not a time to be spreading fear. This is a time to focus and get people to realize what's going on and focus on the future. And ultimately, that is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the answer. I wonder what's going on with that news conference. Did it start yet? Seems like it's supposed to start at 12. I don't know what's happening here. U.S. Defense Secretary meeting with the Ukrainian Foreign Minister. What happened to the conference? It's severely delayed. Here are 3 Russian billionaires hit with sanctions. I wonder. So these three are leading members of the Russian elite of a particular significance to the Kremlin. Okay, I don't know who they are. This guy, Timchenko, is the 8th richest Russian with 18 billion. And then Boris with 1.2 billion. He owns SMG, the largest construction company for gas pipelines, and Igor, who's worth about 1 billion. Yeah. All right. So I don't know what Biden's going to say. I don't know what he's going to say. All right, guys. I'm glad most of you guys are still in a good mood with in a good humorous mood. So I'm glad to see that. It's definitely making today a lot more pleasing, or making these streams a lot more pleasing. But you know what? This is the situation we're in, right? There's a lot of things we can't control. We could report all the things that we want, but ultimately, the only thing you can control is what you go do with your own finances, right? What are you going to do with your money? And what are you going to do with your crypto, right? Are you going to not do anything and continue to hold them? Okay, sure. You go DCA? Great. Are you going to panic sell? Usually not so great, but it depends on your situation, right? Or are you just go sit in silence and wait? That could be a good option too. It just really depends, right, on what you're going to do. But I believe, what I'm going to do is continue to just hold them and continue to DCA over long haul. I've been through many of these. Not exactly the same situation, but been through many years and seen a lot of FUD. And I've seen how we go through these situations. And every single time, we come back and we come back stronger. All right, guys. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Let's all wait to see what Biden says about the latest situation, and I'll give you guys an update tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.